Hiya Steve, lovely to see you as always up at the range and take part in what was a very productive, if not difficult session initially in regards to your ball flight. You can see some great change in your swing towards the end of it. The first thing we looked at was this lack of flexion at P6, so we're looking to try and get back into flexion a little bit more. Excuse me. You talked about feeling like the pelvis or the hips didn't get back into flexion at P5, which is to a degree correct. However, I feel that it's the whole thing, the whole upper body that fails to get back into flexion, and also the right knee to a degree. We did discuss that the right knee not getting fully flexed at P6 was not a massive issue. You could still play some good golf from there. The issue we had was obviously that the club was a little bit too much inside at P6, and this was resulting in us extending, or we'd already extended too soon. As soon as you change direction, the head comes off the wall just a fraction. If you look at the pitch of the shoulders, the green line, as your lesson progressed, the shoulder pitch steepened slightly, and this again is a sign that that early extension is happening actually as you take the club away. So the left shoulder not quite working down for long enough, pushing the head up, leveling the shoulders out, and that's the start of an early extension. Club now behind you too much, hitting out excessively, exiting high. So initially the feeling that we tried to create was that we were just hitting some big pulls. We also wanted a shorter arm swing. One of the things we noticed with yourself, elbows still dividing fractionally, nowhere near as bad as before, but the swing gets long and across the line. So here we're working on shorter swing, elbows together, shifting the plane to the left. You can see as you do that, trying to hit the pull, starting to get you back into flexion more. Your head doesn't come off the wall. If anything, there's a slight lowering of the head as you get back into flexion, much more at P6. Club now much more in line with the hands rather than being behind the hands. So we've got club in behind the hands, club out in front of the hands, and then as we run that through now, we've got a lower exit, considerably lower P8 position. As you can see, we've shifted the whole thing to the left, much lower in the exit as you come through at P9, and also far less closure on the club face at that point as well. So a lot of pulls, eventually trying to turn that into a pull fade to shift the plane to the left. And this is you towards the end of your session, pitch of the shoulders better, back into flexion more at P6, club now nicely in line with the hands. So a very different look at that point. Hitting out at the golf ball a more appropriate amount than we were at the start of the session. So the far right, we're hitting out at the golf ball for longer. The far left, we're hitting out at the golf ball excessively. There's a little bit more appropriate rotation, as can be seen by the amount of left leg visible. And the exit is much more appropriate, as is the rate of closure on the club face. Now, one of the things we then discussed was from down the line. If we look at it from face on, if we look at it at the start of the session, that left knee doesn't quite get out in front of the left ankle as much as we'd like. Starts to brace a little bit too quickly, and as that leg braces and the body backs up, the club's being thrown at the golf ball, so we're losing that shaft lean at impact. And the reason we're not moving in a linear manner enough, and the reason we lose that shaft lean, is because we're too much in at 6. So with a P6 position, with the shaft as far behind the hands as we've got it there with a 6 iron, what we've now got to do is attempt from P6 to P7 to turn the corner. And the easiest way of doing that is by bracing the left leg. That frees the hips up to turn more, stops the hip centres moving forward, and allows you to throw the club head at the ball to turn the corner. So the throwing of the club head and the straightening of the left leg is all about you turning the corner from P6 to P7. If you were to add more linear, like we see here, towards the end of your session doing the drill, and if you had that left knee location and that shaft lean combined with this P6, you would hit the ball way to the right and hit a lot of overdraws. So we've got to get P6 lined up more so that we can make that nice linear move and passive hands leading with a handle move that we see on the bottom right hand screen. So we need this piece here, top right, combined with this piece here, bottom right. Unfortunately, if you work on the bottom right hand piece and you're in the top left hand position, a lot of pushes, a lot of overdraws. So we've got to work the change of direction in, get back into flexion so that you can continue to move in a linear manner and lead with the hands through impact. So effectively what you're doing is from P4 to P5, you're putting a little bit more cut pattern in there, so that from P5.5 to P8 you can put as much draw pattern in as you want without getting excessive in regards to the shot cone that you create. Isolate each piece and then put it together out on the range, just trying to hit some shots. Good luck with it, and look forward to working with you again in 4 weeks or so's time. Well done.